Hello and welcome to our second part of the special crossover between Realms of Peril and Glory and A Game of One's Own, a podcast dedicated to solo and two-player role-playing games. I'm your host, Maddy Searle. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm here with the wonderful Zachary Fortais-Gomm to play the second part of our Pitcrawler game. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm amazing. So lovely to be here. If you're coming across from part one, I hope you're excited to see the conclusion of this tale. And if you're just tuning in here from the Game of One's Own feed, then you can check out the first part over on the Realms of Peril and Glory feed, which I'm sure will be linked somewhere in the podcast description.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So Pitcrawler is inspired by classic choose-your-own-adventure stories. It's a two-player game from MacGuffin and Company. The game itself should be available to purchase from the MacGuffin and Company website from July, so keep an eye on the website for updates. The version of the game that we are using is the Quick Start Guide, which you can actually download for free from the MacGuffin and Company website.
I'm excited to keep playing, Maddy.
Yes, let's find out what happens next. So, jumping back into the game. You, Percy Chiswick, are on a mission for your client Stefan to collect the Tome of Futures from the crypt of the Diviner Delphina, and you have just managed to cross a bridge which was shifting between two states in its timeline, destroyed and pristine, and it took quite a lot of effort to manage to cross this bridge, but luckily now you're on the other side, and you have just heard some ominous growling coming from deeper inside the crypt.
Lost. Eric. What's that? What could that be? Shit. Hide.
I guess hide near the what?
Cool.
Just in case, like, something's coming to eat me.
All right, let's make this a fingers roll, and I'll say it is tricky.
Okay, rolling a d8 here.
It's a 1.
All right, so yes, you see a fallen piece of masonry and you try and duck behind it, but as you do, the time properties of this crypt come back into play and the fallen piece of masonry just whoop, rises back up and reveals your hiding place. And you see a cluster of 3 sort of decayed-looking zombie-type creatures emerge from the darkness. One of them has an eye just kind of falling out of its socket. The other has a missing arm, and the third one has a sort of chunk missing from its head. What would you like to do?
I think the first thing would be just to attempt to, like, talk to these creatures and be like,
Hello. Hi. Everything all right, good chaps?
Please give me a face roll. I'm going to say that this one's difficulty is ridiculous, which is a 15.
I have a 6, so we'll see what happens.
You could explode?
It did.
Ooh,
I got
okay,
a 6.
Okay.
It's got to explode again.
Which is unlikely.
It didn't.
Okay.
8.
All right. So, like, one of the one with the chunk out of its head kind of pauses for a second, cocks its head to one side, and is like, "Rrr," and the other ones just keep moving forward, and then it kind of gets the gist and keeps moving forward too.
Well, I guess I'll just say to Eric, time to fuck shit up.
All right, that I can do. And Eric will get a nice broadsword out from its sheath, and with a beautiful shing noise.
Nice.
What would you like to do? Would you like to attack?
I would like to... Yeah, I think I'm gonna get up close with one of them and try to knock its head off with my quarterstaff.
Nice. All right. Each of these zombies just has 1 HP, and they have a combat difficulty of 9. And if you're using your quarterstaff, then that will be fists.
And so by combat difficulty, you mean I have to hit a 9?
Yeah, you have to hit a 9 to be able to deal 1 HP damage.
Okay, so I'm rolling a d10 here. So... 7.
Dang. And unfortunately, as you make a swing with your quarterstaff, you are just slightly off target, and the zombie that you're going for reaches out its hand and kind of claws its horrible decaying fingernails across your arm and deals you 1 point of damage.
Oh, Eric, I've been struck!
All right, this is not going well.
Eric, go!
Do remember that in these instances that Eric can help you.
Okay.
And can also deal 1 HP of damage at a point of your choosing.
I think I'm gonna get Eric to deal 1 point of HP damage now on one of these zombies and just get one of them out of the
picture. Yeah, very fair.
Totally out of the picture, so yeah.
Sweet, alright. So yeah, what do you say to Eric to...
Eric, go for the head!
Alright, and he swings for the one with the drooping eye and absolutely decapitates it. The head bounces along the ground. And so yes, you're left with armless and head gash.
I'm gonna go for armless and kind of ask for Eric to give me an assist here in some kind of way. I don't really know how that works, but
that means that the difficulty is lowered by 1, so it's now tricky and you have to hit a 6.
Okay. And how I ask Eric to assist me is that I get down on my knees and like tell Eric to push the zombie over me, like a schoolyard bully, in the hopes that maybe the zombie like falls down the chasm.
Nice.
So, I rolled a 1.
Oh dear. Yeah, I think Eric kind of doesn't really get the memo and just sort of shoves the zombie over. Instead of kind of falling over you, it kind of falls onto you. So now you have got this horrible face just in your direct eyesight. And yeah, these horrible gnashing teeth just kind of trying to get at your face. So yeah, you take another point of damage as these teeth kind of take a bite out of your neck.
Ow! Fuck! Eric!
I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't quite understand what you were going for there.
And I can just keep attacking them.
Because you're the only one, and it's only when you fail that you get damaged. So yeah.
Okay, I will again ask Eric to assist me. He's like, hold it down, and get Eric to hold it down while I just whack it on the head with my quarterstaff in attempts to collapse this zombie's skull.
Nice. That's another 6.
Okay. That's a 4.
Oh, goddamn. So as you're trying to swing your quarterstaff at this zombie's head, it sort of reaches out and grabs onto the quarterstaff and then shoves it back in your face, and you get a big clunk on the head with your own quarterstaff.
Well, this isn't helping, Eric. Eric, you're not helping.
I'm sorry. I'm off my game today.
I'm gonna get Eric to push one of the zombies, but this time pushing it at me so that like I can, like a baseball player, I can use my quarterstaff to whack the head off one of them.
Nice. All right. Yeah, that's another 6.
A 9.
Yeah. Please describe to me how you completely eviscerate this zombie.
Just again, I like wind up with this quarterstaff like a baseball player and just bat the head of the zombie out across the chasm, and it falls down, and the zombie, now that it no longer has a brain, cannot do anything and collapses to the ground.
Nice. All right. And in this moment, that you notice that the zombie that Eric killed and the one that you just killed have actually just disappeared. 1 minute you're looking at the corpses, and then your eyes dart away and they dart back and they're just not there.
Oh no. Time, Eric, it's time!
Time for what?
Time!
So you've got 1 left, I believe.
I'm just gonna attempt to bonk it on the head and get Eric to, Eric's just gonna sweep the leg.
Nice. Excellent. Another 6 for that.
That is another 9, so I've done it.
Excellent. Fantastic. Yes, Eric manages to trip the zombie, and as it's falling, you bring your quarterstaff right down on its skull, and there's a satisfying squelch as it is killed, but then now that you know what to expect, you see the body just disappear in front of your eyes.
This is rather concerning, Eric.
Yes, well, they're not here right now, so we can continue like everything's fine and just cross that bridge when we come to it, if it comes to it.
I suppose you're right. Yes. Carry on through.
So yes, you continue down the dark corridor of this crypt. You also hear a little cough just as you're walking down this corridor, and a zombie emerges from the darkness, but with its hands kind of raised in a sort of please don't hurt me position, and calls out and says, "Oh, excuse me, please don't hit me."
I didn't want to hurt your zombie brothers and sisters, but they left me no choice. They would not answer my questions and proceeded to attack me.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. They seem to have lost their sense of self, whereas I've maintained it somehow.
Well, bloody good for you then.
There's not been anyone coming through here in a very long time. You saw how they disappeared, right?
Yes.
Well, killing one of us just sends us 30 minutes into the future.
Oh, blast.
So they'll be back. They weren't very chatty to begin with, so I wouldn't have missed them anyway, but they're coming back, so if you can help me, we can get rid of the tome, because I think the tome in this crypt is what gives it its time powers.
Well, that's what we're here for, so Ruddy, show us where the thing is, and we'll crack on and get rid of it.
Alright, I can do that. There are some dodgy business in the way, but we can I'll do my best.
Well, good. What's your name?
Oh, yes, sorry, how rude of me. My name's Gorton.
Gorton.
Gorton, that's me.
Odd name for a zombie.
Well, I wasn't always a zombie. I was a butler in the employ of Delphina back in the day, and then when she died, I was just killed and made part of her zombie horde to protect her crypt.
Classic wizard nonsense.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, let's keep pushing on.
The next thing that you see in front of you is a doorway with some little saplings kind of growing out of cracks in the stone in front of you, and similarly to the bridge, suddenly there's a massive trunked tree just blocking the door in front of you. You can't quite figure out what the pattern is. It doesn't seem to be as regular as the bridge. Sometimes the door is free for a good number of seconds, and sometimes it's only for like half a second.
Here's a thing I'd like to experiment with. When it's a little sapling, I'd like to pull it out of the ground and toss it elsewhere.
Awesome. Please give me a simple fists roll.
Okay.
So that's a 3.
I got a 2. Is there anything I can do to bump this up?
Gorton can help you.
Yeah, I'll get Gorton to help me.
Yeah. So you both pull on this little sapling. It's kind of, it takes a couple of tries, but eventually you pull it free. And then as you step back, you see that there is no more tree blocking the way.
Time, isn't it? A fascinating mistress. Simply rip it out at the root when it's young, and that solves the problem.
You have a very intense energy. Yes, I've always thought that. You get used to it.
On we go!
As you enter the chamber beyond the door, it is even grander and more impressive than anything you've seen before. And in the center, there is a massive spinning hourglass that is endlessly turning and filled with little purple beads that endlessly sort of stream between each side of the hourglass. And there is a podium below it with a large tome sitting on it, bound in quite a simple black leather. There is also a sarcophagus directly in front of the podium with the visage of a woman carved upon it, who looks very similar to the woman that you saw in the vision writing on the architectural plans for the crypt.
Could I investigate this sarcophagus? I'm curious, like, is this some kind of, like, open the sarcophagus and suddenly she's back to life and there's this horrible wizard? Is there something where I've entered the room and suddenly something weird's gonna happen there with the zombie? I wanna see if there's anything I can do to just figure out what the vibe is of this sarcophagus.
Alright, please give me a heart roll.
It's a 2.
Yeah, everything seems pretty on the up and up.
Well, would you say, Gordon, wizards like to keep their tomes in their sarcophagus?
Well, there's a book over there, but...
Oh, shit.
Do you approach the tome on the podium?
Yeah, I will.
As you get within, say, a foot of the podium, you hear the grinding of stone as the great stone slab on top of the sarcophagus starts to move to one side.
See, this is what I was saying. No one listens to me.
This skeletal woman starts to claw her way out of the sarcophagus.
Oh!
How dare you invade my crypts?
Shut up, you nasty skeleton wench! Get out of here!
And I'll just throw like a bit of rubble that I see around me at it.
Nice, give me a combat roll. This is, so for this it is a combat difficulty of 12. I'm going to say that you can have both Eric and Gorton helping you, but if you fail, they will take 1 HP damage. Gorton only has 1 HP, and I'm going to say that Eric has 7 like you.
Okay. Is this fists?
Yes, this would be a fist if you're lobbing a bit of rock.
Gordon, give me that bit of rubble you've got in your rib cage.
He hands me his bit of rubble, and I'll say,
Line me up, Eric!
and he kind of like points at the skeleton, so I've got a thing I can aim at. I just lob this bit of rubble.
You're trying to hit a 6 because you've lowered the difficulty by 2.
That's a 5.
Oh, goddamn. Unfortunately, Delphina the Diviner doesn't take kindly to having bits of rubble thrown at her. She nimbly dodges out of the way and goes,
How dare you?
and she sends black lightning out of her fingers at all 3 of you. Gorton drops down
Gordon, no!
and disappears to reappear in half an hour. Eric takes 1 point of damage, and you also take 1 point of damage.
Yeah, I've currently taken 4 damage, so...
Whew, over half. Cool. Okay. And I will say up at the top of this, Delphina's 3 HP.
Okay, so right now we're on a, like...
Equal footing. we might have a TPK in this one shot. We'll see how we go.
Okay.
What's your next move?
Can I use my... like one of my items, like a measuring tape, to help me lower something in any way?
Yeah, for sure. You can absolutely do that. If you find a way for it to work, then that will help lower the difficulty. Eric is still around, and you can also use heart on combat rolls as well if you want.
Oh, I could, couldn't I? Okay.
But then that would mean that if you fail, you take 1d4 damage rather than 1 damage, so that might be risky.
Let's go big or go home.
Cool.
Eric, give me a boost!
And so I'm gonna get Eric to like you know how you squat down on all fours with your hands, like ready to launch someone up as they run, and I'm gonna run and be launched in the air and attempt to just whack this skeleton, and I'm gonna put my whole ass heart into it and roll my fists. And what am I trying to hit here with Eric's help?
That would be a 9 with Eric's help.
Okay. I hit a 9 just.
Nice. Excellent. Yes. You deal 1 damage to this spindly skeletal diviner who lets out a cry of
Oh no!
and scuttles back in pain and readies her hands to send forth more lightning. What would you like to do before that happens?
I'm going to attempt to use my quarterstaff to just knock her hands off, her like skeletal hands off.
Nice.
And again, I'm going to do this with my whole heart because I don't have Eric's help on this because I think, or Eric's further away. Maybe Eric can distract her. I get Eric,
Yeah.
run interference, and get Eric to like, oi, over here.
He goes boogity 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 boogity
Yeah.
in the corner, and she's just like, "What the fuck?"
And I try to knock her hands off, put my whole heart into this, and trying to hit a 9. Oh, please. Oh, please. I hit an 8.
Ah, goddamn. So yeah, please roll 1d4 for me to see how much damage you take.
This could be the end, everyone. It's not. I only take 1. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah! We're still in the game. Excellent. Okay. Unfortunately, Eric's distraction doesn't quite work. Oogity boogity's not gonna do.
Not good enough.
Yeah, so she just keeps the lightning trained on you and zaps you one more, and zaps Eric one more. So he's down to 5. Okay, what's your next move?
Okay, I think I get Eric to Eric's gonna be the one to actually do the move on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna a slick feint of being like, "Ooh, I'm in your face," and then I feint out the way for Eric to come, woof, and do a big slash.
Excellent. Okay, give me your fists for a 9.
Ooh, that is a 19. So I've surpassed by 2.
Incredible. Now you get to deal 1d4 damage if that's because that's a.
Fuck
that's
yeah!
A
This could be the end. It's not. It's a 1.
Well, just one more HP to go on this bitch.
Oh.
She is very rattled at this point. She has not expected this tiny little tailor to do so much damage, and she cries out,
You'll never get my secrets. They're all mine forever.
Just die, you old bitch!
And I'll again vault up off Eric and push my quarterstaff deep into her skull with my whole ass heart. I'm gonna roll the fists. Let's do it. That is a 14.
Incredible. Please describe to me how you destroy this horrible time vampire.
What I do is my quarterstaff wedges itself through her collarbone and down into her ribcage, and I wrench and I just rip her whole skeleton in half. And she just loses all of her energy that was keeping her alive.
Excellent. And yeah, fragments just sort of scatter to the 4 winds. You see that Gorton's corpse reappears.
Gorton!
But it's still dead.
Oh.
So essentially, he has been given his final rest. He's been allowed to stop this endless cycle of revivification. He is no more, but perhaps the better off for it. You also hear the pitter-patter of feet. You think running away from this room? Would you like to investigate that?
Fuck, have they grabbed the tome?
The tome is still there.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the tome and then investigate.
Nice, okay. You have the tome in your hands. You can feel sort of the magical energy of it kind of tickling your fingers as you hold it. But as you turn the corner, you see the urchin that delivered the letter this morning running away down the corridor.
Oi! Stop it! What are you doing?
Please give me a simple 3-face roll to see if you can get the urchin to stop.
It's a 2.
The urchin kind of lets out a squeak of and just keeps running.
I'm gonna huck a bit of rubble and try to conk him on the head.
Give me a tricky 6 fists roll.
I don't, it's a 1.
Get back here!
The rubble ricochets off the wall and misses, and the urchin gets further down the corridor.
Well, shit.
I will run down with Eric to go catch the urchin, but I don't think...
I'll give you 1 chance at a feat roll to see if you can catch up to them, and then if not, you might have to go back to Stefan and see what the fuck is happening with that.
Well, look, I'll do this with my whole heart. And what am I trying to hit?
I'll say you're trying to hit a 6.
I definitely do that. In fact, I just fall short of doubling it.
Awesome. Okay. Yes, you managed to catch up. Eric kind of shoves you along to give you a boost, and you manage to grab onto this urchin. He's like, "Oh, mister, no, I didn't mean nothing by it."
Don't make me use this on you.
Oh, God. All right, I'll tell you everything. Mr. Vague thought that you'd get killed by the vampire lady, and she'd eat your future and get all sleepy-like.
Oh.
And then I'd be able to take the tome home.
Did he now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just needed some pennies to get some bread for my sick sister.
I grab the urchin by the collar and say,
Now you listen.
Yeah.
You go tell Mr. Vague that this is my tome now.
Okay.
And I'll eat his future for lunch if he doesn't fuck off.
Okay. And then the urchin scurries away. Eric kind of looks at you, sort of horrified and impressed at the same time.
Look, Eric, I mean business. You wonder why I was the only tailor in town? I ate the competition's lunch, Eric. I'm gonna eat everyone's lunch today.
And on that note, we bring the adventure to a close as you have this valuable tome and a hunger for lunch. So, thank you so much for playing. Had an absolute blast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on A Game of One's Own.
Thank you for having me on Realms of Peril and Glory. Do you have anything you would like to plug at the end of this?
Well, I think if you're listening here on A Game of One's Own, if you've come over from Realms of Peril and Glory, what I'd really love for you to do is stay here on this podcast feed. There's a lot of amazing stuff that Maddy's done. If you want to hear more with me in it, Maddy and I did a live show of another game called To the Bitter End, where we played Bitter Rivals, and we had great audience reactions there. It's really funny. Sci-fi based stuff, so go check that out on this feed. It's a lot of fun. But if you're just here on A Game of One's Own and wondering who the heck this guy is, my name is Zack. I am the co-creator of Realms of Peril and Glory, the actual play podcast that's fully sound designed, got beautiful original music, and we play kind of shortish seasons, everything from one-shots to campaigns, indie games to established titles. Maddy is one of our core cast members, along with myself and a bunch of other fabulous folks. And if you want to check out the show, go to realmspod.com and see all the cool stuff, or just search Realms of Peril and Glory in your podcast app, and you can find us there. So yeah, thanks so much for having me on, Maddy.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. And if you want to find out more about A Game of One's Own, you can head to snazzytapier.com and look at all the other stuff that I have done in the past. And you can follow us on Twitter at A Game of One's Own, or you can find me on most social media platforms at Maddy is Abstract. If you'd like to support the show, you can head over to the Snazzy Tapier Patreon, where you get early access to episodes, access to the monthly newsletter, and the Discord server. Thank you so much for listening, and look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye!